Ladies and gentlemen, for years, Democrats, morally superior liberal Democrats, wonderful, wonderful, very educated people, were saying we have to invoke the 25th Amendment. I mean, Trump, he's tearing everything down. Oh, look, record low unemployment, record low Black and Latino unemployment, economic growth. Gas prices, less than $3 in most areas of the country. Inflation at around 2%. And the last year of his presidency, Trump wants to open up. It's too soon. The experts and the educated people, the people who can tell us right from wrong and give us a cost-benefit analysis for our, for our society and to tell us what's moral and immoral, they're saying that Trump is running amok. He's just tearing everything down. Oh, Trump! And then January. I mean, forget about all of that summer. Fiery but peaceful, mostly peaceful. Billions of dollars in property damage. But it was for a good cause, and I do agree with the cause. But you can't be disingenuous, duplicitous, and the epitome of a hypocrite. Oh, Trump, he said both sides. No, he didn't. Go look at the transcript and who he condemned. They only lied about Trump. He never worked with the Kremlin. His tax returns weren't the holy grail of corruption. He didn't do anything illegal with Stormy. They just lie. They have nothing on Trump. Meanwhile, they have Comey go to bat for Madam Secretary with top secret and special access program intelligence, but everything on private servers running. If one major liberal YouTuber can explain how top secret and special access program intelligence managed to find its way, numerous emails on servers running outside of the United States government, that'd be great. By the way, I want a Clinton-Trump rematch. That would be fantastic in 2024. But anyway, I'd vote for Trump a million times over, but Hillary Clinton needs to be the nominee. I want to see every Democrat, every progressive who is like, economic, wealth inequality. I want them to fall in line. That would be fantastic to see them vote for Clinton for the second time in 8 years. That would be fantastic. I think that the country deserves this for a number of reasons. We need a Trump-Clinton rematch for a number of reasons. Spiritual reasons. We need to exorcise the demons of 2016. Bernie Sanders was cheated. And then they blamed the Kremlin because they cheated Bernie Sanders, and they think that us knowing about that is a plot by a hostile foreign nation. Every single thing the mainstream says, from the Washington Post to the New York Times, from WMD to Facebook ads, has been complete nonsense. But they have MSNBC, CNN, the Washington Post. They have New Yorker, The Atlantic. They have a public relations monstrosity, Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel's not a comedian. He's a Democratic operative. That's all he does every day is talk about how horrible Republicans are. You saw the Oscars. There are all these jokes, and everybody, all the actors yeah. They're going to get completely obliterated in the midterms, which would be fantastic. But now, we'll finally get to the segment. They wanted to kick Trump out of office using the 25th Amendment because they thought he was so erratic. He thought that he was such a horrible human being. Meanwhile, we have mashed potato brains, who slurs his speech, who doesn't know where he is half the time, who makes absurd, bizarre statements. I'm not even going to get into it because of YouTube guidelines. I'm just reading from, I'm abiding by YouTube guidelines. Here, let's read. Daily Mail. Daily Mail. Tucker Carlson pleads for 25th Amendment. It is now. Tucker Carlson calls for president to be removed due to his... Okay. Fox News, now is the time to invoke the 25th Amendment. Washington Examiner, Tucker Carlson invoked the 25th Amendment to remove mashed potato brains. Tucker Carlson says it's time to... Media matters. Media matters. Tucker Carlson says it's time to invoke the 25th Amendment to remove our beloved president. So... That's it. That's just the only Media Matters article. It points to Tucker Carlson. Okay, so it talks about Tucker Carlson. So anyway, let's just talk about President Exhumed Body. He slurs his speech. He speaks in a hushed whisper. It seems that he's struggling to communicate all the time. Nobody knows what his administration stands for. He just reacts. He isn't proactive. His administration, whether it's Jake Sullivan, who's now being investigated essentially by the Durham probe, Blinken, they don't have any foreign policy objectives that they want to achieve. They don't know when the horrible situation under their watch in Europe is going to subside. They have no clue. They don't know. All they know is they're going to, send weaponry and armament through NATO, and that's all. They have no clue. They have no idea. They don't know where we'll be. We're heading into a recession. The 5-year and 10-year bonds have inverted. That is a sign of recession. I will talk about that on the Stock Market Crash channel. Hit subscribe to this channel. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel. And you have a situation where all of these things, like the most horrible events that people thought, 5 and 30-year Treasury yield inverts for the first time. So the 5-year and 30-year Treasury yields invert for the first time since 2006, fueling recession fears. We're heading into a recession. We have geopolitical nightmares. We have gas through the roof, oil prices through the roof, inflation that's rampant, and we have a Fed that's raising interest rates. And do we have a president that knows how to get out of a room? Everybody, Democrats know this too, but they don't care. They'd rather have the movie Weekend at Bernie's, and I'm not even talking about Bernie Sanders. They don't even care. They want power. They want, like the movie Precious, Precious. They don't care. Everything from immigration, the border, geopolitics, the economy, everything they went after Trump is worse now. Everything. Categorically worse. Categorically worse. Without a shadow of a doubt. Look at the numbers. Poverty has increased. Wealth inequality has increased. In terms of, you want battle climate change, he released strategic oil reserves. He's jettisoned his initial goal of decarbonizing the economy because, he just recently found out that oil and gas are geopolitical issues, especially towards our main adversary right now, which really shouldn't be an adversary, but I am against what they're doing. But that alliance in Europe, had it not existed, we wouldn't have this situation. But for some reason, there's this reverence for a Cold War relic. It's an archaic Cold War relic. There's no need for it now. We have a $700 billion defense budget. Why do we need an independent alliance? Tell me why. Do you think that Vladimir is going to invade Poland? No. Or Romania? No. So anyway, he doesn't know. He states things like, there needs to be a change in leadership in that country that could spark World War III. He doesn't know what he's doing. He has no vision. He's being told what to do almost certainly. Everybody knows this. There's not a person on the planet who thinks that this man is really, absolutely without a shadow of a doubt, in charge, knows what's going on, coherent. Everybody knows what's taking place. The establishment, media, Democrats, Hollywood, all these, they want anyone but Trump. They don't care, and they'll take the country down with them. They don't care because most of them are rich or wealthy. They don't care. You have the far left talking about the working class, man. Well, the working class is worse off. Do you not see that inflation is a tax? Why do you think this inflation? It's a global thing. Inflation and oil prices are global. Why do you think it's global, imbecile? Why do you think that every country that adopted draconian measures pertaining to you-know-what has a terrible economy now? Gee, maybe we shouldn't have listened to all the wonderful experts. Maybe they were wrong as always. You tank your economy and you expect we're going to have a devastating stock market crash. We're seeing that take place, and I predicted that in The Federalist. Read my article below in the pinned comment. Commodity prices are up everywhere. Yes, you buffoon. Do you want to know why? Again, because you tanked global economies. And then you focused on decarbonizing and battling climate change right after you tanked the economy. There was zero demand. Then, like a light switch, you just said, let there be light. Let there be an economy. And everything from fossil fuels to goods and services, commodities, the demand went through the roof. And then Biden, Build Back Better, was actually going to contract and shrink the economy. We didn't even pass that monstrosity of a bill, and we're still heading into a recession. Horrible geopolitical quagmires, all taking place under mashed potato brains. And that's being polite. President exhumed body is also being very polite. But again, it's not about what's good for the country. It's about political power. You have these imbeciles who didn't care about politics a day in their life, but they read the New York Times and they're very educated now. And all their friends tell them that Trump is an authoritarian, even though they're the ones who want to silence and suppress speech and only level certain consequences at conservatives or Trump supporters, and zero to minimal consequences anyone on the left who, says something horrible or does something despicable. And then they say, well, cultural norms. You know what? It's you accept apologies from one political side and you don't accept the apology of another political side. So that's not cultural norms. That's utilizing outrage just to increase your political power, or to ensure that your political opponents are silenced. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. It's not going to happen, but it should. It really should. Mashed potato brains is like a national security nightmare. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe. Thank you. I'll be back.